Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the February 19th edition of Carolina Week. Are the P2P buses really reliable? We'll have the answer.
I'm Susan Tart, and I'll show you why many Chapel Hill workers are choosing to commute instead of live in town.
In sports, we'll take you to the newest Coach K court on Tobacco Road.
Weathercaster Laura Pagano will have your Carolina Week 4-day forecast.
All that and one last look at your final two SBP hopefuls. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to the Monday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Alex Villarreal.
And I'm Adam Rue. Thanks for watching. The campaign trail is heating up for the two runoff candidates for student body president. Candidates and their crews spent days parading in the pit and nights storming the dorms. Nick Neptune passed out flyers last night to students in Avery and Parker dorms. His communications director, Logan Lyles, says this week has been a second chance to connect with students.
No campaign runs smoothly, and always getting a second time to go through with the same candidate allows you to improve on the parts that you think you did badly on, and it lets you redo the things that you think you did well.
And Eve Carson is also gearing up for the final stretch run. Her campaign team used signs to encourage students to make Carson their new student body president.
Students can vote in tomorrow's race by logging on to Student Central from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And be sure to tune in right here tomorrow night at 10 for live election results.
As part of his campaign, Nick Neptune staged a public breakup with the Board of Trustees Monday.
I want predictability. I want accessibility. I want affordability, especially for the students.
Upset with rising tuition costs and years of unpredictable behavior, Neptune symbolically severed the 213-year relationship between the university and the board. The Clefhangers helped set the mood while students gathered in the pit to watch the breakup.
From breaking up to breaking in, many people wish they could better protect their homes from break-ins. Reporter Brendan Anderson tells us about a little-known service offered by the Chapel Hill Police Department.
You might feel safe in your house.
I feel pretty safe here because we're in a good location. We know all of our neighbors. There's 6 girls here, which, safety in numbers, even though we are all girls.
But it takes a thief only seconds to find a way into your home. There were more than 50 break-ins in Chapel Hill and Carrboro over winter break. Maybe because not enough people talked with Officer Robin Clark. Officer Clark runs a program called Target Hardening, which is designed to make your home less attractive to intruders. The program gives homeowners a free inspection by a trained professional, and Clark looks for every detail. She checks the doors.
But yeah, these, as you can see, this is just the plywood. This is kind of a retrofitted piece of plywood. It looks like somebody had knocked the one that was in there out before, and as you can see from the crack, it was not a very thick piece to start with.
The windows.
The metal seems to be pretty secure, but that's just a single pane glass, and it wouldn't take anything to break it.
The lights.
I am noticing a motion light up there. I'm not sure if it actually works or not.
And points out other potential threats to your home's security.
Now, many homes have air conditioning units underneath a window. Now, that's an easy target for thieves. All I'd have to do is step up on the unit itself, step on this brick right here, and then just open the window.
Clark makes sure to tell you ways to increase your safety.
Lock that window with that bolt and keep your basement door locked.
After a security survey that might surprise you.
I'm surprised with what she found. I'm definitely humbled. I think we all were.
Above all, Clark reminds that
you got to think like a criminal to catch a criminal.
And to prevent one from breaking into your home. In Chapel Hill, I'm Brendan Anderson, Carolina Week.
To schedule a security survey for your residents, call the Chapel Hill Police Department at 919-969-2068.
According to Chapel Hill officials, school bus drivers have to hang up their cell phones while on the job. The American School Bus Council wants to make it illegal for drivers to use a cell phone behind the wheel. Chapel Hill Transit drivers have already put their phones away, even though North Carolina doesn't have a cell phone ban. Officials say a statewide law makes sense because cell phones can distract the driver and put riders in danger. If you're out late at night, one way to get home is UNC's point-to-point shuttle service, the P2P. But some students say the service is leaving them stranded.
We already came, we're not coming back, you had your chance, you need to be out there when the van is out there.
That's what sophomore Brian Quinn says happened one night last semester when he called the P2P shuttle to take him and a friend from Craig Residence Hall to Carmichael Hall. He says he didn't make it to the street in time because he was taking care of his friend who had too much to drink.
I ended up having to walk past the P2P area where the P2P van waits just to get her back to her room.
When classes are in session, white buses run on a loop through campus between 7 p.m. and 3 a.m. After 3, students can call the P2P and ask for a van to take them home. But Quinn says getting someone to answer the phone at 4 a.m. can be a challenge.
And it just rings and rings and rings, and you can call as many times as you want and no one answers.
Campus police spokesman Randy Young says the university's size makes running the service more difficult.
Certainly we're serving a campus population, campus community that exceeds 45,000.
2 other students who refused to talk on camera said they too have had problems with the P2P, telling me the van showed up, but the driver told them to stop calling and then he drove off. Young says there are reasons why a P2P driver won't pick up passengers.
A driver might not pick up a student if they are not at an official campus location that is open.
But Quinn was on campus traveling from one dorm to another. He says P2P operators are too concerned with the process and not worried enough about keeping students safe. If he had to give the shuttle system a letter grade,
I'd say about a D.
And if you have a problem with P2P service, Young says you should contact the Department of Public Safety during regular business hours the next day. For more information on how to get in touch with DPS, visit our website, carolinaweek.org.
And when we come back, reporter Susan Tart shows us why taking the bus to work isn't even an option for many Chapel Hill workers.
Why housing prices in Chapel Hill are making the trip to work a little longer.
Hello. Yes. Can I ask a few questions about the apartment on Park Street?
What was your name?
My name is Juan Hernandez.
It's been rented.
Oh, it's gone. Hello, my name is Sanjay Kumar. I am calling about the apartment on Park Street.
It's not available.
Not available? Hello, my name is Tyrone Washington. I'm calling about the apartment on Park Street.
Just been rented.
Hello, I am Chen Ling. My name is Khalid bin Ali. I'm Tuan Vo. Hello, my name is Moshe Goldberg. I use a wheelchair. It's gone. Not available. All right. Thank you. Yes, hello, my name is Graham Wellington. I'm calling about the apartment for rent on Park Street. Is that still available?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Really?
Housing discrimination is illegal. If you think you've been a victim because of your race, color, national origin, sex, religion, disability, or family status, call us. Fair housing. It's not an option. It's the law.
It might be hard to believe, but the majority of Chapel Hill City employees don't even live in town. Reporter Susan Tart tells us why so many local workers cannot call Chapel Hill home.
Amy Harvey's workday lasts 13 hours, but she gets paid for only 8. That's because she's one of the many Chapel Hill town employees who don't live in Chapel Hill and must commute.
I get up somewhere between 5:30 and 6 o'clock in the morning, get myself together, and then get my daughter up to get her together. We probably leave the house about 7 and get to her school just before 8. And then I'm here, depending upon traffic and everything else, between 8:15 and 8:30.
More than 70% of town workers live outside of Chapel Hill, with some employees driving more than an hour to get to work. It's a problem Christine Westfall of the Orange Community Housing and Land Trust says is unique to Chapel Hill.
Chapel Hill has a particular challenge in that many of the people who work in town cannot afford to live in town due to the high housing prices.
An average house in Chapel Hill, such as this one, sells for more than $500,000. That's more than twice the value of homes sold in the rest of Orange County.
For a minimum wage worker to currently afford a 2-bedroom apartment in Chapel Hill, they have to work 2 full-time jobs.
Director of Public Works in Chapel Hill, Bill Lettieri, agrees homeownership is a problem, but says raising minimum wage won't solve it.
We already pay well beyond the minimum wage. We have what we call a living wage situation here, so no one is paid less than, I think it's $8 at this point.
The town requires that 15% of housing units be affordable. But for people like Harvey, there are few moderately priced houses, which means spending lots of money on gas for commutes.
I probably spend between $40 and $60 a week. If I'm just driving by myself, it's probably closer to $60.
Whether city workers live far away for personal reasons or financial ones, their commutes are long. But officials say the commutes would be just as long in bigger cities with more traffic. In Chapel Hill, I'm Susan Tart, Carolina Week.
Workers living out of town is an even bigger problem during bad weather. Many of them weren't able to drive into town during the snowstorm of 2000, which meant Chapel Hill couldn't even function. However, city officials say they now have backup plans for bringing workers into town when a storm hits.
We all know a midday power nap can leave you feeling refreshed. But did you know there can actually be health benefits to napping? A new health study says young men who take midday naps could live longer. But naps don't just benefit young men. Dr. Ted Cash says power naps can benefit everyone. Naps decrease stress in college students and in working adults. UNC student Eric Smith says he takes power naps during the day, not because he's trying to stay healthy, but because of those boring lecture classes.
I don't even really have to be sleepy. And sometimes I go to class and like the teacher will get up there and have a boring lecture and I just end up falling asleep.
Midday naps give you more energy and they also prevent high cholesterol and heart disease.
Hollywood hopefuls got the chance to meet a man with a real-life television success story. Students packed into the Union Cabaret on Friday to see Hollywood director Paul Feig. Feig, whose credits include the hit TV comedy The Office, answered a number of audience questions ranging from different topics, including character development to auditioning.
It's crazy. You go to an audition and they'll go like, "Can you quad dance?" It's like, yeah, as a matter of fact.
Aspiring director and UNC student Bryce McNabb wrote down some advice from the Hollywood veteran. McNabb says his own directing will benefit from Feig's visit.
My favorite piece of advice was to create characters that the audience will want to hang out with, and that's something that I'm definitely going to take with me in the future.
This was Feig's first visit to UNC and part of the week-long Carolina Comedy Festival.
428 Essex, Polyp on the premises.
Good 20.
We begin our Black History Month coverage today with a little jazz. We'll talk about John Coltrane. He was born in Hamlet, grew up in High Point, and moved on to change the world of music. His improvisational playing and melodic freedom didn't just influence jazz. Jimi Hendrix, for one, was inspired by Coltrane's aggressive improvising style. Coltrane recorded albums in styles ranging from bebop to free jazz. During the Civil Rights Movement, UNC students created a movement of their own. The Black Student Movement, or BSM, has been a voice for unsung students since 1967. The organization took part in the 1969 food workers' strike and the recent construction of the Sonia Haynes Stone Center. BSM President Renee McPherson says she looks forward to what the group will do in the future.
BSM, to mark our 40th anniversary, want to continue the movements that we have had in the past and make sure that our mark on Carolina's campus has not been forgotten.
BSM is open to all students. If you would like to participate, meetings are every Wednesday afternoon at 5:30. Well, capoeira has come to UNC. The Brazilian martial art has students kicking, dodging, even singing to a whole new beat. UNC's Capoeira Club held its first official practice last week. Capoeira incorporates music, dance, and acrobatics with martial arts. The instructor began the class with this step, the basic movement called the ginga. Within an hour, students were ready to play the game. To play, participants form a circle and take turns sparring in pairs in the center. This instrument, the berimbau, keeps the rhythm. Gustavo Arriaga says capoeira is a creative sport and a great outlet for students.
Each one of the students here at UNC can
can sort of find their path and use capoeira as a way to express themselves.
If you'd like to learn capoeira, classes are every Sunday at 1 p.m.
And we're joined now by weathercaster Laura Pagano.
Hi.
So Laura, the weather has kind of just been doing a lot of changes lately.
Yes, temperatures have been going up and down like a roller coaster. We've seen some pretty cold temperatures over the past week, and it was pretty nice today. This student took advantage of the warmer temperatures today, but will the nice weather last? I'll let you know when we come back.
Essex, Polyp on the premises.
220, we're on it. Let's roll.
In there.
Yeah, we'll handle this, man.
What?
We're ready to be very civil about this.
You never know when a polyp is going to show up. Get the polyp early and stop colon cancer before it even starts. Just get a test from your doctor. Get the test, get the polyp, Nice surgeon's touch. get the cure.
Hey, kid, what's shaking? Besides me.
Dad, there's something wrong with the fridge.
What? Ooh, a snack.
Got energy hogs in your house? Now you have the power to do something about them. Log on to energyhog.org. Because nobody likes an energy hog.
Hey, they got Charlie. Who cares?
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm weather forecaster Laura Pagano. Well, the top headlines, well, if we did see it, it would be the fair amount of breeziness that we do have over the past couple of days. As we see, we do have sunny skies with mild temperatures as well. And if we do change over towards the surface map, we do see that we do have cloudiness out towards the west. We do have some precipitation in the area as well, but this is a very dry front that's heading our way that is going to be moving towards the east, so we don't have too much to be concerned about. When we look towards closer to our region, we'll see that Raleigh, Durham, and Greensboro are clear all the way down to Charleston. We do have some high clouds, and we do see some green on the map, but we do have a high pressure system dominating most of the area, which means that the precipitation isn't even hitting the surface. So that means that we are going to have sunny skies over the next day or so. So let's take a look at the temperatures, and we do see that they are quite mild. We do see some orange and red towards the south that are going to be making its way towards the north, fortunately for us. But how about with the wind chill? What does it look like? Well, it doesn't look that big of a difference, especially in our area. We do see the wind chill does make it feel a little bit cooler, but we're going to have winds shifting from the northeast to the southwest, which means that we're going to be seeing a lot of warm, moist Gulf air coming towards our region, which means that it's going to feel a lot warmer. Taking a look at the surface map, well, we know that we do have warmer temperatures, but how about that front heading our way? What does that mean? Well, we're going to see that we're going to have a lot of wind heading our way and warmer temperatures as well. But we do see this front is headed our way, which means that we're going to get some precipitation Tuesday and into Wednesday. And looking out toward the west, not too much precipitation either. And looking towards the 4-day forecast, well, I have very good news in the way that Tuesday we're seeing mostly cloudy conditions, and we might have a chance of showers for Tuesday into Wednesday. But for the remainder of the work week, we're going to see beautiful conditions, and so no excuses for not going outside. If you have homework, you should do it outside. It's absolutely beautiful.
Well, that's great news, Laura. Thank you so much. I know we're all glad to see some of those warmer temperatures moving in.
As am I.
Absolutely, and we're joined now by Deshaun Brown. And Deshaun, I would never pull against Carolina, but this weekend there was a game that had me sort of feeling warm and fuzzy inside for one of our most hated rivals.
You're right. I watched the game at NC State, actually from Reynolds Coliseum, and it was a weird feeling not really knowing how you wanted things to turn out. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that in just a second. Coming up in sports, it's hard to imagine ever cheering for the NC State Wolfpack, but we'll show you how one woman might make you change your mind.
I'd like to pass them back to you now. I'm very pleased with your work. She's got the drive, the energy,
the heart, and the talent.
Pre-med.
But she wouldn't be here without your help. Please support the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Passing gas in the presence of others is not only inappropriate,
That is so foul.
it can be deadly. Passing gas releases a fog of carbon monoxide
Grandpa,
and other poisonous fumes that can contribute to asthma and pneumonia.
you're killing us over here.
Kids shouldn't be exposed to secondhand smoke. Don't pass gas, take it outside.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Deshawn Brown. Now, Friday night, the women's basketball team traveled to Raleigh to face rival NC State. This pack of Wolves looked nothing like the team they defeated just weeks ago. Coach Yao's court dedication before the game had the pack bringing their K game. They say it's just a game. But sometimes the game can mean so much more.
As time moves along, we'll know we lost the game here, but I think more than anything else, we'll remember what tonight means as far as K-Yao.
And what a night it was. One gift Yao will never forget.
To win the first game on K-Yao court, I mean, there's only the first in everything, You can go back and there'll be other games in it, but the first, I remember my first ACC championship. I remember my first win over North Carolina. I remember, I remember the first, and it just always, the first looms in your mind.
Yao won the fight against the Tar Heels, but her battle continues. It's hard not to root for her, but the Heels didn't have time to worry about Friday's loss. They faced the Miami Hurricanes on Sunday afternoon. The Miami Hurricanes looking to turn up the heat against the Tar Heels in Chapel Hill. But Ivy Ladd and the Heels said, not in our house. They got off to a 13-0 start. Erlena Larkins showing some strength in the post. That was just too easy. Larkins here again under the basket, tries it a second time. Money. But if you thought that was sweet, you have to see this. With time running out in the half, Alex Miller throws it up and knocks down the half-court shot. Yes, that really did just happen. Guys, there's nothing else to see here. The Heels win big, 93-70. The UNC men's basketball team rebounded after an embarrassing home court loss to Virginia Tech. Saturday, Carolina held off the Boston College Eagles, winning 77-72. Tyler Hansbrough scored 17 points, while Ty Lawson chipped in 13, with 7 assists and 6 rebounds. With the win, Carolina now controls its own destiny in the ACC, tied in first with UVA. If both the Heels and Hoos went out, Carolina would hold the tiebreaker thanks to their previous win over Virginia. The second-ranked Carolina baseball team welcomed the Seton Hall Pirates to Chapel Hill this weekend. That music means it's baseball season here at Carolina. And I know it's cold, but try to get excited. Here's one reason. Drew Polk homered in his first career at-bat. In Sunday's game, the Carolina pitching staff dominated. And it looks like they had some fun out there, too. The Tar Heels didn't have any trouble in this series. They cruised to a 13-2 victory over Seton Hall. The women's lacrosse team had an exciting Saturday at Fetzer Field. Sports reporter Brittany Bussian takes us there with a look at the big win and the season to come.
This is how the women's lacrosse team opened their season. The Heels upset two-time defending national champs, the Northwestern Wildcats, in sudden death double overtime. After a rocky start, the Heels got serious in the second half and caught up to tie the game 8-8 and force overtime. The victory was sweet revenge for the Heels because it was the Wildcats who kept them out of the Final Four last year in the NCAA tournament.
Senior Christina Juris, who scored the game-winning goal, never forgot.
Oh my God, it's been on my mind every day since the last game last year. So we've been ready, we've been preparing every day since when they beat us last year. So we definitely knew what we had to do today. We were very, very well prepared.
And the Heels have been preparing for a promising season. The Inside Lacrosse preseason poll ranked them number 3 2 weeks ago. With 9 returning seniors, a National Defender of the Year, and 3 All-ACC returnees, they're determined to climb higher. And head coach Jenny Levy knows exactly what her team focuses from here.
Continuing to mold the group that we have into this perfect ball of fire that we're going to just attack every game with.
If the Lady Heels can stay hot, there will certainly be a lot more of these, and maybe even a national title. In Chapel Hill, I'm Brittany Bussian, Carolina Week Sports.
Now, in his last season as the coach of the swimming and diving team, Frank Comfort took pride in his ladies on Saturday as they presented him with an early retirement gift, the ACC Championship. Whitney Spriggs swimming to a first-place finish here. The Heels swept the podium in the 1650-yard freestyle. In the 200-yard breaststroke and butterfly, Allison Clemens and Lindsay Mark made a big splash to propel the Heels to the ACC title. This is Coach Comfort's 16th women's title, and Lindsay Mark said it's the perfect way to send him into retirement.
It's going to be a tough competition, but I mean, just for Frank's last meet, it's just an awesome way for him to go out, and we couldn't have done any better for him, so it was great.
Wow, guys, congratulations to Coach Comfort. What a way to go out.
Absolutely. It's great for him and great for the program. Deshaun Brown, thank you so much.
Well, coming up, one UNC alum has made a name for himself on and off television.
We'll show you the musical side of one of our area's prominent personalities.
Pants, pants, pants. I am folding the pants. The pants are long. Do they go on my head? Do they? Do the pants go on my head? No. They go on.
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
If you live in Central North Carolina, you might have heard of Bill Leslie. He's been the face of WRAL's morning newscast for almost 20 years, but as Mark Alexic reports, this anchor man is also a music man.
From the anchor desk to the stage, Bill Leslie connects with his audience, and this audience brings back memories.
Trying to make it relate as much as I can to the local people here, because I grew up here. This is my hometown, and I mean, it was almost like a sophisticated Mayberry to me.
Leslie returned to the small mountain town of Morganton to perform Celtic songs with his band, Lorica.
It's got almost a spiritual connotation at times. It makes you feel really, really calm and peaceful. You can almost feel your heart rate go down when you listen to this music.
R.J. Lannon writes music reviews for NewAgeReporter.com, a website devoted to Celtic, fusion, and world music. Lannon receives over 400 albums per year from musicians hoping they'll get his approval.
I just knew that Bill was going to be within 200 miles of my home, and that was a short enough drive for me, so I came to listen to him.
Even with his musical success, Leslie won't quit his day job.
I really love the news that I do at WRAL. That's a big part of my life.
And so is his music. In Morganton, I'm Mark Alexic, Carolina Week.
Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Good night.